Game Clique.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Game Clique, the blackest video game discussion in the industry. This podcast is so black, we put money on the books of the guy that stabbed Derek Chauvin.
I'm with that.
Yes!
Absolutely.
I got one.
I'm never prepared for what his thing is going to be. But I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, now I got to do it. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
The brother who killed that the guy who just had a Netflix special on him. I forget his name. But the guy who
I don't know.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay, yeah.
So, no, the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer, so my boss, who I still work for currently, he actually used to write letters and put money on his books just so he could have, because he was never getting out, but it was, just, trying to make his life as comfortable as possible. So,
Hey, if you stabbed Derek Chauvin, leave a comment.
They got phones now.
We'll get you some commissary.
I had someone message me straight up from jail, like, just looking for a pen pal on Instagram. And I was like, what is happening? How did we get here?
We're getting off track.
How did we get here?
I seen one jail cell, like, they had the whole setup. Yes! They had an Xbox in that joint. I was like,
they doing it. I was like, wait a minute.
Lock me up.
I've seen... All right, so I don't know about... I'm not an American prison system, but I've seen some, really humane prison systems. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. America's just unorthodox. Like, it's just like people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion in itself. But yeah, welcome to Game Clique. I'm your boy, the CharmCityChamp, and I'm joined as always by the Duke of Games.
What's good, everybody? I got a new skincare routine. I'm real happy over here. I took a nap because Champ really tried to play with me last episode. So there was this moment. It was a long moment. He did not cut away either. And I was so pissed about it when I saw it back. I was like, "Yo, you hate me in real life, and that's cool."
Where am I gonna go?
I did. What do you mean you do a cutaway any other goddamn time? You could have put an emoji over my face, anything. I don't care, anything. And you just gonna let a 10-second yawn just stay on screen.
Don't be tired.
It was ugly too. It was out. Because I was trying to stop it.
You can't be tired. Always be working. Dude, we're near the end of the year. This is like the most exciting time for gaming. We got the Game Awards coming up.
We are a week away from Game Awards.
Hell yeah.
This is like, this is our thing. This is the time for us.
Yeah.
We get to know what's happening, what's coming new.
So this episode is going to be mainly about us trying to predict the winners of the big categories of the Game Awards. So we're going to get to that shortly. But first, Duke, just like you always like to do before we start off our podcast, we like to shout out those guys and gals that shouted us out in the comment section. So yeah,
and the betweens and the they them's and the fams and friends. Listen, not too many to go over this time, but I definitely want to give a shout out to. We had someone by the name of Breaking Ground. They came in during a live chat. Once again, we comment live during every one of our uploads. They said that this was very good info. We were talking about Spider-Man last time. And they said they're definitely not a gamer, but they enjoy playing and hearing about video games. Gotta give a consistent shout out to Ingo Namia. Still ain't giving me my phonetic spelling. I'm ready. I'm waiting. We here. Consistently coming through and showing love. They were asking about anyone remember the multiplayer first-person shooter that was called. They don't remember what it was. So whatever you remember what it is, maybe we can come back and really comment about that. We once again had Howdy Duddle in the chat. Much love to you. And I'm trying to pull it up. It is terrible. Like when you pull up the high chat replay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got 1 like since the last time I checked this.
Hell yeah. Drop bombs.
So shout out to the people in the likes. Thank you so much. Keeping our algorithm consistent. Okay, so we had Howdy Duddle in the chat saying that they were super happy to once again catch the podcast. It means a lot to them to check it out. And that's about it. I'm gonna call it round there.
Wasn't somebody in there like?
Oh, Librarian
Yeah.
said that they love to see and hear appreciation for Remedy Entertainment.
Good.
So, want to get that?
And my fellow Alan Wake enthusiasts, let's freaking go. Yeah, they deserve it.
Indeed.
But yeah, thank y'all. Like I said, we do this every single episode. So if you want to get shouted out, make sure to leave us a comment on YouTube or leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. That's right. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, anywhere. Just go to the search bar, search Game Clique. We're that blue one, baby. So now let's go into what we're playing. So we always like to talk about what we're playing currently. And I'm really curious about the one you want to talk about, Duke. So please regale us with this crazy funky thing that Final Fantasy 14 is doing right now.
So, and it's definitely interesting because of the time period, because we know that that studio lost some support recently. But there was a Fall Guys crossover with Final Fantasy 14. And if you are unfamiliar with Fall Guys, it is like a much better version of Mario Party.
Wow.
It's online, and like all you load into like a lobby, you're dressed like Tubbies, and you have some mini games, platforming things to challenge yourselves with to get to the end of the goal line. And then the goal is to end the crown and be the number one at the end of the 3 rounds. And so Final Fantasy 14 adopted it in their unique gameplay system, and they did the same thing for Final Fantasy 14 players. So you get to control your created characters, and you have a series of challenges to do using in-game mechanics. So what's interesting is that in Final Fantasy 14, when you're doing raid bosses and things like that, you have various different debuffs that are on you. And so sometimes some of these debuffs can be like when the timer goes down, a mechanic will go out and then the arrow will show up on your character, right? Underneath your character's feet. And it can be facing north, south, east, or west. But when the timer goes down and reaches 0, then your character will automatically move in the direction of that arrow. And so the trick is that in order to avoid like spells or things that's happening, you have to pre-turn your character in the opposite direction of the arrow in order for them to move in the direction that you want them to go when the timer goes off. And so they add things like that into Fall Guys, their Fall Guys expansion. So yeah, it's things like that. There's you got a spinning debuff, literally like your character is spinning out of control, and so you have to you get very minimal movement controls trying to make sure they don't fall off the edge. There was another, slow down debuffs. There's barriers, like you can't hit, the sliding barriers and things like that. If you get hit by certain AoEs, then you get stunned, and then that can make it where other people can move in front of you, and you lose your chance to move on, kind of thing. It's really, it was fun. And I didn't get everything from the event. I farmed it just enough to get the full outfit, because the outfit looks pretty dope. It's like,
so I am so flabbergasted. So I just looked at the trailer for it like blind, and I didn't understand when you said Final Fantasy 14 Fall Guys collab that you're literally playing Fall Guys in Final Fantasy 14. It looks ridiculous.
It is dope. And so what's unfortunate is that it is a temporary event, right? We don't know if it'll come back. It's going to be up until like at least I think the end of the year, I think they said. But I think that even if it goes away, some of the things that they did in this, I wish they would make permanent. For instance, you get exposed to a lot of the raid debuffs inside of this thing. And outside of people who are consistently raiding or do a lot of the more late in-game dungeons, they never really get to experience with some of those raid debuffs or how to resolve the mechanic before they get into the fight. And I know that's somewhat some of the, the fun and allure of Final Fantasy 14, but I see it as a really, really great practice in order to help people get more acclimated to some of the things you can encounter in raids. Because it's not everything, but I do think that it would be nice to expose players to like, this is how you can resolve this mechanic, but this time it's like no stakes involved other than you losing your place in line. But yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. So where can they play FF14 for people who are new and are interested in playing that joint?
So you can play the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy 14 for completely free, including the Fall Guys collaboration.
Nice.
You can play it for completely free. Wherever you want to download it at, I suggest consoles just because parties. But you can create your Discord and move from there. But you get the first, if I'm not mistaken, it is now the first 3 expansions for free or something. They moved it up. So I know you've always gotten the base game as well as the first expansion, Heaven's Ward. And then the expansion right after that is Stormblood. So not 3. I believe they give you up to Stormblood now, which is up to level 60, 70, up to level 70 max level content. It's a lot of gaming to get through. And then if you happen to love the game quite enough, the baseline entry is $14 a month. And I think it's absolutely worth it. You get a lot of game and a lot of experiences.
Hell yeah, man. So yeah, I don't think my game is too far off from what you're talking about, sort of, because technically we want to like do the what's it called, the 6 degrees of separation. We can draw a line back to Square Enix for this game. I've been playing, I actually finished Super Mario RPG Remake for the Switch.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
So for those of you that don't know, Super Mario RPG, when it first came out, it was on the Super Nintendo. And Nintendo was really interested in making an RPG with like the Mario mythos and the Mario characters and stuff like that. But I guess they didn't know where to start. So they recruited Square Enix and they were just like, go ham, go crazy.
Yeah, make us an RPG.
And I mean, like, this one-off RPG has some of the weirdest canon in like Mario history. And like they created these one-off characters that are never seen ever again, like Geno. Were you familiar with the Geno campaign to try to get him into Smash Brothers?
I'm not even familiar.
Okay.
With this. Hold on, let me check.
Geno is like this puppet dude who I don't want to say possessed, but he gets possessed by like this spiritual being and he becomes like the sword fighter. And people,
it looks like someone that should be in Smash. Absolutely.
I agree. But I assume so when people were like really begging to get him in there, it was kind of unrealistic because again, you would have to get Square Enix involved to get that handshake going. But Sora's in.
But Square was already involved for Cloud and Sephiroth.
Exactly.
Like,
so, yeah, so I don't know. We may eventually get it. I actually think he's a Mii costume.
He might be.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely looks more like a Mii character, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think maybe like a special power-up or something, like you get this and then, Geno comes out. I think that would be really dope. I'm all about supporting fandoms and like what people want to see as games. Like I hate all the bureaucracy that comes with, no, we got to have this license and all that. I hate all of it. Just give me my games, man. Give me my characters.
Give them what they want, man.
This is why we can't have another Marvel versus Capcom.
So yeah,
so franchise is dead.
Because of that, so Super Mario RPG came out, I think it was like 1996. I should have known this before we got on air, but I believe it came out 1996, and that same year the Nintendo 64 dropped. So it really didn't get as much love as it should have got.
Was there because I feel like I played a very small tidbit in somebody's Walmart or something years ago or Target. Was it on GameCube or at some point?
So I think you could get it not in the GameCube. I think on the Wii you could play it on a virtual console.
Maybe it was that, because I just remember playing. I don't remember. I just have a very faint memory of it was the RPG Mario, and when it was my turn, I had Peach in my party, and I had to like jump in order to hit the box or something. And that would dictate, I don't remember what, but I was like, oh wow, it's literally Mario, but as an RPG. And I enjoyed it enough.
So yeah, the OG Mario RPG was playable in the Wii on the Wii U. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
maybe that was it.
Didn't get any love. And because of the whole weirdness of the handshake between Nintendo and Square Enix, it didn't happen again. We didn't get any sequels, and Nintendo went off to just make RPGs on their own, which are known as Paper Mario.
Maybe that was what I played.
It might have been.
And not RPG. All right, maybe I played Paper Mario. I think that was more what I played.
Yeah, because
they were paper. They were 2D, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
Paper Mario.
You're unlocking memories.
That's what I'm here for. So Paper Mario has a lot of Super Mario RPG's DNA. So Super Mario RPG was one of the first RPGs to have the system where, because turn-based RPGs, for the most part, even current day, basically work as you pull up a menu, you pick a command, and your character automatically does the command. Whereas in Paper Mario, it's kind of the same thing. You pick the command, but you have to also button press at an appropriate time to make the command successful, or to buff or debuff your attack.
Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah. But Super Mario RPG really created that.
Okay.
And I think it was because it had the Mario kind of aesthetic to it. They really were trying to make it welcoming to a younger audience. So this was their way to kind of make that battle system a little more engaging. But it's dope.
So what you just played is a brand new Mario RPG.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the previous one that Square did.
No, this is a remake. This is a remake of that original. So that's the interesting thing. So it's a remake.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Square didn't help develop the remake. The remake is actually developed by Art Piazza. They're a small, I don't even want to say small. They've worked alongside Square to make a lot of the Dragon Quest games. So yeah. So Nintendo recruited them. They made this remake. It's pretty faithful. The music, really good. They do the thing that like remakes do, where you can play
the original or the remaster. Okay.
My one gripe, and this might be, I don't even want to say it's a gripe, because you're going to hear this, you can be like, well, it's a baby game. But it shouldn't be a baby game, but it's dumb easy. I beat the game, and I only needed to respawn once. I only died once.
Or is it just that you are a better player than you were when you were younger?
I don't think so. No, and so I remember that original Mario RPG being like brutal. Like I remember getting my ass beat by a lot of the earlier bosses. But again, like you said, I was like, what? I don't want to say my age, because then people are going to start doing math and be like, oh,
they're going to do champ math.
They're going to do champ math and be like, hold on, if he was freaking 30 then, god damn. But yeah, so I may be able to chalk it up to, all right, I was just a little young baby boy when I played the original one. But yes, Mario RPG is super easy if you are a veteran to turn-based RPGs. So be prepared for that. But this is still like, it still holds up. It's still mad charming.
Did they change the art style at all?
So it's cleaner. So Super Mario RPG was already one of the few SNES games that had 3D art. So it already looked really good compared to a lot of Super Nintendo games. So they kept the same aesthetic. They just made it look a little cleaner. They made it HD. There's now actual cutscenes in the game. So depending on depending on where you're at, it's actual like played out cutscenes. And they also added these team attacks that were in the original one. So remember back when I said the time button presses give you buffs for your attacks, or it debuffs enemy attacks. So now there's a gauge that keeps track of how many times you successfully press the button prompt. And when you fill that gauge, you could do a 3-person team attack. And depending on who's in your party, it does a different one that creates a different effect and stuff like that. Those have big cutscenes that look really cool. This game looks really gorgeous for it to be a Switch game. I don't want to put that identifier on it. It looks good, period. It looks good.
Because you know, you would give me hell every time I critique.
End of sentence.
Anything that come on the Switch. What is this mug? They do not sponsor us. Why is that?
I just have to be.
Put it label forward.
It's on both sides, so I couldn't. There's nothing I could do about it. I had to drink it like this. I wasn't even thinking about it.
What is this?
I'm gonna blur it out. Y'all gonna have to pay.
First of all, why do you even have that mug?
I used to work there. I used to work there.
It's so random. So random. All right.
Play.
So, you know, I never do what you ask, and I once again didn't. So this one is actually a gift, a little bit. So I have been checking out one other game. Have not played it yet. Just played it. Really watched a couple of things and saw some things. I think you will love it. I think it is your game. It's a game called Worldless. Have you checked it out?
Worldless?
It is a 2D Castlevania-like game. It is on pretty much all the consoles. I think it's like $20 or $30 right now. It is. So it follows a traditional Castlevania, model, but the way that they do combat is a little different, where every single combat instance is kind of like an RPG. So as soon as you encounter an enemy, you transition to like a different mode, but the actions are in real time. So like you have a certain amount of time to input the actions that you want to do, and then you will execute those actions as you put them in, and then you'll be in a defense stage, and then you have to defend against the enemy during their action time. And it's just whoever loses HP first wins that particular battle kind of thing. But it looks more action oriented in that, but it's also like a separate instance of combat compared to like you still running around the map. And it's a gorgeous looking game. And I know that's why, like, it's very abstract in its gorgeousness. So it's like, I know that's why your face is like, wait, what is it? How
this shit looks
so
good.
I really think, I was like, I really think you will like it. And I wanted to give that a little nod on the podcast.
Yeah, to use the...
So it's called Worldless. Yeah.
Yeah, I already got it pulled up. It's $20, and it is on PS5 and Xbox and PC. I'm not sure if it's on Switch. I couldn't confirm that right now. They use the Thunderful engine, which is it's a really good engine. A lot of indie games use it. Hell yeah, I might get this joint and go. I might reach out to them and try to get it for free.
So yeah.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, Super Mario RPG, I guess I didn't. It's probably self-explanatory, but you can get it on the Switch. It's a Switch exclusive. Grab that thing. I like it. Highly recommend it. Get it for your kids so they can learn how to play RPGs, and then get Chrono Trigger and crush their souls. Or
it's interesting. If I wanted to have someone learn how to play an RPG, what game would I suggest? That's a different episode, but like,
that is interesting. We should talk about that.
Yeah.
Another day. But now we have to talk about Black Power Media. Black Power Media is a Black radical independent media project who seek to challenge the narrative about Black politics and the Black condition. With shows like Game Clique, I Mix What I Like, Remix Morning Show, and other future programming, they'll deliver the news and information our community and others need to break through today's mainstream propaganda machine. Please support Black Power Media, the exclusive home of full video episodes of Game Clique. If you're not already there, go to youtube.com/@BlackPowerMedia. Hit the subscribe button, baby. And go a little further. If you got some money, go to patreon.com/BlackPowerMedia. For as little as $5 a month, you can help support small little baby shows like us.
Indeed. And let them know you like us.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Do that too. And let us know you like us by finding us on your favorite podcast platform, searching Game Clique, and leave us a review. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, give us 5 stars. Do all that.
And our social media is Real Game Clique because Game Clique was taken. So Real Game Clique is where you can find us.
And because we're real.
We're real.
Including YouTube. We now have our own YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RealGameClique. Find us there. You're going to find clips of shows like this, and you're going to find some exclusive content over there.
Yes.
When we figure out.
However, once again, final 4 episodes are only on Black Power Media.
We promise. Black Power Media is probably watching. We promise.
Why would you say that? This is all in agreement. So, why is he making this a thing?
Black Power Media. Is Black Power Media in the room with us right now?
Every single episode, you try to make it seem like we don't belong.
I just playing. I love it here.
What is this logo?
I create more work for me every time I drink out of it. But
you drink it?
It's just green tea.
You drink it?
It's green tea.
Just green. I get a chamomile. That's what I've been drinking lately.
It's actually a flavor one, but I can't tell what it is.
That's perfect. I mean, you know what? I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I never know the taste of my tea because I put so much sugar in it.
Oh, you need to stop doing that. Drink it black.
I mean, it's brown sugar. It's brown.
Okay, that's better.
Brown sugar and honey. I put so much in it every time.
Hey, look, y'all, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to come back with our main topic, talking about the Video Game Awards. Don't go anywhere. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Game Clique, the blackest video game discussion in the industry. And we're here to talk about...
We're getting ready to be talking about something that's getting blacker every year.
Just a little, about a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little smudge. Let's get nice.
Little by little.
I mean, last year we had 17 minutes of blackness.
Hell yeah.
That speech was so long. God, that speech was so long. Oh my.
Gotta break the record. Hey, look, so the game...
good. No one should break that record. No one should break that record. We're good. Sit down, boy. I'm good.
They gotta learn to play. It's funny how the Game Awards, this is their 9th iteration, not including like the precursor to Spike Video Game Awards, because it's probably like even older than that. And it still feels like they're learning how to do it.
Yes. I mean, last year they had a major security issue.
Yeah.
On top of that.
That's
But I mean, Jeff, he went live this year, which I'm not familiar if he did that in previous years, where he went live to do a Q&A session as well as a separate live to announce the nominees.
Yeah, I think he's Jeff Keighley, who, if y'all don't know, he is the guy, he's really the brainchild behind the Game Awards as we know it right now. And not to critique him, he clearly knows what he's doing for the most part, but I think he's a little too transparent sometimes. And I think he's a little too... I don't want to say he cares too much about what people are saying. Because you should, because you're creating content, you're serving people, right? To an extent. But
yeah,
you can't let the echo chamber that is Twitter guide you into your decision making. Like, Twitter is a cesspool.
It is. It is not. It's not a great place for learning. I do know that.
And
it's not. It's not a great place for learning.
It's like every time Twitter is in a rage about something, Jeff Keighley makes a live Q&A where he's like, "Look, guys, I promise Hogwarts Legacy is not here because nobody voted for it. It's not because we hate."
I think it's one of those things. So there's two things. One, I think Jeff is great. I just think everything he does, I'm great with. Yeah. I just think he's a terrible host. That's the only thing. I think he's please hire somebody else to host the awards.
Yeah, they need to find a celebrity.
But other than that, I think it's one of those things where if you know just a tiny bit about his story, is the fact that he's been wanting something for, like the VGAs for a very, very long time. And a lot of people told him no, like for years, and like just telling him that it wasn't a market worthy to even put that kind of investment into. So I think he's in a place now where he may just be kind of skittish, like knowing the value of like words and like how people's perceptions can turn away, you know, potential, you know, sponsors, donors, and all those other things. Like he had to deal with that for a very long time before the VGAs came about. So maybe just putting that in the psychology a little bit. And it's funny because I don't care about him and his thing. He's white, but it does bring me into context of being under the tutelage of Sonia Sanchez, and she said that the number one killer of any movement is gossip. And you know, maybe we just, you know, be kinder. just talk. But we don't gossip today. That's what we're gonna do. That's what the whole podcast is about. This podcast is about gossip. So
so let's get to the point. So
let's get to it.
We are here to predict. We're gonna put our brains together, our very experienced gamer brains, and we're gonna try to predict the winners of 15-ish of the big categories of this year's Game Awards. And I figured, like, I'm throwing this on you, right? We didn't talk about this in the pre-meeting. I don't even know why we do pre-meetings anymore if we want to keep doing this. But let's make this thing spicy. We should wager something. We should make this a competition.
This is terrible. Is it a conversation? Because a lot of times we agree on these things.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was thinking about. Like, I don't want to create a situation where we feel like we have to pick different, even though.
But you're the type to pick different just because you love chaos. You love chaos.
Pick different because I'm clairvoyant. I'm like, I see.
That's not why you do it. That's not why you do it at all.
Well, I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is not like in any of the categories we're going to talk about, so we don't have to worry about that bias that comes out. But I don't know. The winner just wins.
I'm surprised you don't have a Sonic tattoo. I'm surprised you don't have one by now.
His design's like not cool enough for me to do that.
You get it like on the back of your calf.
That won't make it worse.
You might be. Little ankle tattoo. Yeah, you can hide it with the sock, you know, unless you're wearing footies.
Not cool enough of a character for me to like. Design wise, like he is a very.
I don't know about that. He has different iterations.
Very nice.
Like dude. He got different iterations. You know, you can go for the Sonic X version. You can go for the Sonic Boom. You can go for
even worse. Yeah, this guy cool. And this is not me dissing anybody who is now. Now I feel like I'm doing a Jeff Keighley thing where I'm like, not insulting you that if you have a Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo, that's your thing. Hey man, do your thing.
No, I think it's cool. I mean, if I like Sonic enough, I would do it, but just don't. One thing I'm thinking about though is I just want to clarify: if you do enjoy Sonic Boom, no judgment. I just want to get you some really nice socks.
Now I'm gonna judge you.
I'm gonna get you some really nice socks.
That game
is for your new rooms. You have a lot of new rooms you should be going to.
The show's not
with
bad.
Nice socks.
That game is ass. Hey, let's
never watch it.
It's super.
What they did to Knuckles is unforgivable. I am not.
They made it actually funny though. He was actually pretty funny in that
Knuckles is my favorite character. He is not supposed to be a buffoon. I'm not dealing with it.
And let's get this show on the road, man. And let's talk about. I figured let's bookend this thing with what I think is the two most interesting categories. Let's start with Player's Choice. So the Player's Choice one, and I'm gonna pull it up so you can see all the. Actually, I can't. I didn't leave space for me to. No, I can do it. No. I got it. So Player's Voice Award is different than any of the other awards because it's 100% weighted by the audience vote, right? All other categories, the audience vote only counts for about 10-ish% of the final score. Where this one,
it's not all the nominees, is it?
No, I got to scroll down. There's a lot of them.
Oh, that's what I said.
We don't got to announce all of them for the people who are listening. unless y'all want to say something, leave a comment if you want me to read them all, but I'm not. All right, let's just talk about the big ones.
Damn, that's a lot. All right,
got Alan Wake 2, Armored Core 6, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk here for some reason, Diablo 4 as a big boy, Final Fantasy 16, Fortnite, Spider-Man, Hi-Fi Rush, Liza P, Resident Evil 4, Mortal Kombat 1, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Starfield, Street Fighter 6, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, Valorant, and Warframe, and a bunch of other ones that are going to lose.
Bunch. I mean, including Diablo 4. You mentioned Diablo 4.
I just figured I'd shout it out.
I was about to say.
I just figured I'd shout it out. There's some people.
I'm surprised it got nominated at all because, like, I know that it has been doing some work to recuperate, some of the community losses, but I'm burned. Like I said, I completely deleted the game. I still have Diablo 3 installed, but not Diablo 4.
This category is so weird because it's just really just like it's the Wild West over here. There's no rules as to why you're nominated here. It's like, why is GTA Online here? That game is over a decade old. Why is it here?
It's like the people who voted for Kanye during the last election. Like, that was literally a thing. Well.
Just, it's all right, man. Your vote still matters. It's somewhere.
This is there.
This is somewhere. It's all right. So, how do you want to do this? Do we just want to outright pick a winner? So, the way the Player's Voice Award goes is in the first round, each person can pick up to 10 games, and I think 10 games gets picked out of that and then moved. You vote in rounds, and then eventually the final round, I think it's going to be about 5 games, and then everybody votes for one. That'll eventually be the winner.
Okay. I would say let's try to pick out a top 4. I may vote outside of the top 4 that we have, but let's see what we think is really in the running.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of all these games. So Baldur's Gate 3.
Clearly
in the running.
Mm-hmm.
I know Alan Wake 2 is super dope, but I don't know if it has a big enough fan base.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it... So I think the thing that does Alan Wake 2 the biggest disservice is that it came out of all these games, this is the most recent game. So I think that's going to hamper it a lot because of that, a lot of people have not played it for that single or at least a lot of people have played it and not beaten it.
Okay.
I think the love of that game, because I think we talked about this in between shows, is that game, I don't want to say it didn't click until the end because the game is good from beginning to end. But once you see the ending is when it's like, you realize it's a masterpiece.
Okay. All right.
It's one of those.
Right. My last masterpiece was God of War Ragnarok. I'm still sitting on highs from that. So
yeah, and like
it takes a little while.
Even Ragnarok had one of those points where, like, not saying that Ragnarok was ever bad, even though it might be a little bit, there's some pacing issues in it. But for me, it was when you get to that point where you're like, you can see outer space, like that one fight with the 2 Valkyries where it looks like you're in outer space. Like, I think it was when I got to that point.
We're in Hell High.
Whatever. I'm not going to remember all them damn...
Yeah. But I get it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was when I seen that when I was like, oh, this game is fucking good. That was my eureka moment for that game. And yeah.
Wow, that was super late for you. Mine was early. I was just like, man, this is the bee's knees.
But yeah, like I'm like
old language. Yeah.
It's not me saying that the game was bad at any point, but and this I think is not really me saying this is not a ding at Ragnarok. It's more of a praise of how good that franchise is. It's just everything up to that point felt like it was just more God of War 2018. Okay. Not a bad thing.
All right. I'll give that for you. Let's get on with this. Second row. I don't know. So are we putting Alan Wake in or not? My recommendation is to wait until we see the rest.
Okay.
to see if it's space.
Yep, there's your second row.
Genshin Impact is in there.
Okay.
In my opinion. I just think the fan base is too large for it not to be there.
Yeah.
And then third row, I gotta take Liza P.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Liza P.
Oh, but I didn't realize Spider-Man was up here too.
So here's my
and Hogwarts. So I'm not a fan of Hogwarts, but just looking at the recent metrics, it's a big seller.
Yeah, it's a big seller. There's a lot of people there, and there's a lot of people that feel like Hogwarts was slighted by not being nominated for anything else. So I really think like it's going to be a groundswell of a bunch of people that are going to vote for that game.
Trying to get Hogwarts in there. We're going to be past 4, but
Yeah.
I'm going to put. I want to say I'm fairly certain that Marvel Spider-Man is not going to win the Player Choice Award. I'm just fairly certain it's not.
Yeah, so what I was about to say was Player's Choice is normally works out in a way that people vote for the game that is not already nominated for a lot of stuff. Like Spider-Man's going to get his flowers in at least one of the other categories.
Yeah. That's interesting because I have a different theory as far as how this Player Choice is going to plan out this year, though. I'll say it after we get all of our nominees, but I would say from this row is Liza P and Hogwarts for sure.
Word.
Um,
There's 2 more left. 2 more rows left. But
I'm not seeing anything from this row that's going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
And for this row, I'm not seeing anything that's going to win. My personal vote is for Warframe. That's just because I'm a player of that and I love Warframe. But I'm not saying anything that is going to stand out as a win from PC. I would say, do you have who you think is going to win the category? One, give me your personal vote, and then who's going to win the category.
Who I would like to see win this category? Liza P.
Liza P.
I think Liza P is really good. I played a little bit more in it. But so putting hours in a Liza P doesn't necessarily mean making progress in Liza P.
That's the truth of the goddamn matter. I mean, with any like Elden Ring kind of clone, that is the truth of the matter.
Yeah, because I should have
played the game and not be moving anyway.
No, I should have beat the game twice over by now, and I'm not there.
I think you'll really love the ending. If you don't know what it leads into, you'll be like, "Oh wow!" Like I really think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna still stick with it. So the one thing, and again, I don't want to get too far off track, but the one thing I'm really liking about Liza P that separates itself from the other Souls-like games that it's inspired by, because it's not officially a Souls-like, right? It's not made by From Software. It's made by somebody else. But the thing that normally, I don't want to say this is something that makes me dislike Souls games, but the story is so abstractly told.
You're hitting on it. Yeah, you're hitting. This is the reason why I don't play them.
Yeah.
Because they're told through, you got to like read item pickups most of the time. You have to pay a lot more attention to environmental storytelling. And I think those things are dope for people, which is why after I play those games, I'm normally on YouTube watching a what happened kind of thing. But I value games so much more when you tell me what I'm experiencing kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. I'm sorry, I don't have the time to be reading what this pebble means. Like why this pebble is a different color than the other pebbles that I've picked up over I just don't. I need clear sources. But to be fair, those other stories, they have really great stories.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't want to work to read it to figure it out. Yeah.
And not to say that Liza P doesn't, do that any less, but I think the benefit,
they have a balance. They have more of a balance.
Yes, that and the fact that it's based on a story that most of us already know. Like a lot of us know Pinocchio to the extent that they make a Jiminy Cricket reference, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. Or they make a reference to why lying is so important in the universe, and you're like, oh, okay, I already know why. So you already kind of like have this built-in attachment.
You have context.
Yeah. So I think that's why it was. I think it was a brilliant. If that was intentional, it was brilliant. If it was just luck, they're a lucky ass dev team if they put that together and was like, oh shit, that was a good idea. But yeah, hoping Liza P gets it, but I'm predicting that Hogwarts Legacy gets it for that reason that is a bunch of people.
It had good content customization. I think I still see people talk about like the only thing that they wish that it had was multiplayer, which is I think what it was supposed to have in the beginning because it was supposed to be an MMO, I think at first, right? Mm-hmm. And so people miss that multiplayer aspect. Like I said, I didn't play the game, and it's crazy because I was a big Harry Potter fan. Mm-hmm. But I eventually I don't know. I wound up seeing so many different wizardry things and sorcery things that it just all kind of bumbled together at some point. But whenever I was punished, and I got punished a lot when I was younger, y'all. But whenever I was punished, I was still allowed to read books. And the only books that I really wanted to read was like my Harry Potter books over and over again. So big fan of the world. So I see that. All right. So I already said what what my personal vote is going to. But you mentioned what you want to see win. I didn't mention that. What I want to see win is Genshin. Give me my Primos. I need more Primos. Genshin win every category it's nominated for. I need Primos, please. I'm running poor in my Primos. All right. But what I think is going to win, and maybe this is a little bit more of my anarchy processing. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win. In the sense that I think this will be an opportunity for players to voice not just what they think makes a great game, but also the intentionality and mindset behind developing good games. And I think people are becoming a little bit more conscious about vocalizing like, look, we want more development times like this. We want more, games that cater to us as consumers, as opposed to a lot of these microtransaction, half-baked $70 games that, need patches on day 1, 3, and 7. Like, I think that is something that is also going to be in voters' minds during the PC awards.
All right, so I'm keeping track of all these. That's why. So if you see me on my phone, I'm not texting anybody. This is me trying to keep track of our picks so I can brag about me winning when that time comes. On to the next.
I want ramen.
That's a god.
I want ramen.
Okay,
I want ramen.
Loser.
So yeah,
the other to ramen.
Oh, but we're going to do a different place. We're going to do a different place.
Loser also gets to pick the place.
All right,
there's a place near me that I do want to go to too.
Loser picks the place?
Winner picks the place? Winner picks the place, loser pays?
No.
See, we should have worked this out in the pre-meeting. What am I doing?
But you brought it up here. It's crazy. Listen, so the truth is, chat, I'm not a fair person at all. I'm not a fair person at all. And what I want y'all to know is that I'm trying to figure out how to word this where no matter what, I'm the one getting treated. Wow. I deserve. Listen.
So I think it would be dope. Let's go to this is a category that even if you're not like a hardcore gamer, I think you have a horse in this race. Best adaptation. Okay. So the best adaptation is for the media content that's based on a video game IP. So the nominees are Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, okay, right, all right. Mm-hmm. I was going to say not the reverse, because the reverse, all of those games suck.
No,
almost. So the games that become other things, not the other things that become games. All right, got it.
Right. Castlevania Nocturne. Gran Turismo, the film, The Last of Us.
hear anybody talk about that, so that's automatically
I heard it was good, but we'll talk specifically.
Okay.
The Last of Us, the HBO show, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal, the show on Peacock.
I didn't watch it.
I watched the first 3 episodes and I fell off, but I heard people who finished it enjoyed it.
Now, what I heard was this wasn't Anthony Mackie's best.
Absolutely, yeah, totally agree with you. He was not.
Damn.
And what
I'm a fan of Anthony. So it sucks that this may not have been to the best of his abilities. But all right, so I mean, clear. I think I already know who wins this. I know what I want to win it.
You want to say it? Let's say it on the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3. The Last of Us.
Mario.
What?
That's who wins? Are we talking about who wins?
Yes. What were you? Why'd you say Mario? Mario, do you think Mario?
Peach. Like, do you not remember how big this movie was? This movie was huge.
I do. So, yeah. So, to be fair, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was the highest grossing movie this year up until Barbie release. I think Barbie was the one that overtook it.
Yeah.
So I agree.
This movie was huge.
Financial success.
Huge fucking movie.
I don't understand why critics hate it. I like that movie.
I remember some of the critiques from the critics. It was just like, it just wants you to accept that there's like you run through pipes.
Yes. What do you want? What do you want? Everything. This.
It wants you to accept that there's a kingdom in a pipe. And I was like,
yes. How much people want to be spoon-fed lore? Like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I died laughing reading this news. But
people want everything to be like Schindler's List. Everything doesn't have to be. Everything is not trying to be a masterpiece. It's just a good
beach. It's crazy. That's interesting. I think second place is, in my opinion, Last of Us for sure. I would want Castlevania to take it though. I enjoyed Last of Us. I had my gripes with it as a really huge fan of the game. I had my gripes with it, but I'm okay.
What were your gripes?
I'm gonna say that.
What were your gripes?
So I'm okay with deviations if they enhance the story, but I don't think quite a few of the deviations they did enhanced it. And so first thing is, and it's so weird, there were different moments like that I've come to appreciate in different contexts. So let me say the episode 3 with Bill's Town, things like that. I see what they did. Appreciative for what they did because they exposed homosexual lifestyle in a different light that a lot of people don't get to see or like quote unquote forced to see, right? So I appreciate it in that context. But in context of the game, I feel like Bill's character was fucked over. I hate to say it that way, messed up. And I really hated that the relationship between Ellie and Bill wasn't expanded upon or shown the way that it was in game, because I thought that was really, really great character moments for both of them. So that was the first. There was some other little moments, but I think the episode that makes it the worst for me is actually the final episode. The way that they decided to do the hospital scenes, where it was like flashback kind of motif thing and you weren't there in the visceral moment, I think lessens the impact of like what Joe really did. Like Joe murked so many people. And I think when you play the game like that, the visceralness of it, and it's like, yo, what is happening kind of thing, you lose that in the way that they decided to do it, is like him driving off and like you see like cutscenes and flashbacks of what he just did. I'm like, you lose that tension. There was the tension buildup of those decisions, is why I dislike it in those parts. But I think overall as a show, I'm quite cool with it. I think the actors did pretty great too, if I got to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was pretty well casted. And
Yeah.
I agree with you to an extent about the final episode. The thing is, and I'm not saying that we have to accept it, but I don't think any static media, and I say static in the sense that like non-interactive media is never going to translate one-to-one with interactive media, because it's just watching somebody shoot someone and then being the person who controls that person shooting someone. It invokes two completely different emotions from the audience. And I don't think I've ever seen anything kind of one-to-one translate that.
It's a bunch of punks, bunch of wussies. This is what. So it's really weird to me because I remember the moment in The Walking Dead, the famous moment from The Walking Dead. I thought that was excellent. But like the world was like, oh my God, this is too much. And I'm like, do you not know what country you live in? Like this country does this much worse. Look to everybody. Like, but so I will accept that I'm the odd one out on that part. I'm not torn away. I'm watching House of Usher right now and loving it. Like everything this guy puts out, like, because nothing is scary, it's all unsettling. I love this shit. All right. I may need therapy. But so the grittiness, the gore, and all those things, and I'm not saying like violence for violence sake. It's not Saw, right? I don't think in gore and things like that. I just think the decisions that Joel makes to do that, I think it could have been painted in a different way. I think it could have been done in a way that was better than a montage, is what I think.
I hope, because if they do, they are working on season 2, right? And if they're doing this,
they didn't nail the okay line. I'm sorry, Ellie and him, like the very last 2 dialogue lines, they didn't nail that. They didn't nail that the way that it was nailed in game.
I hope that when they do season 2, if they are like literally, if season 2 is going to literally be Last of Us Part 2, that hospital scene is so important and is revisited a lot in Part 2. And I'm hoping they go back and continually like revisit it and kind of go more in depth in regards to what happened.
It would be super dope if the character they introduce, if they show her going through the room, seeing the bodies, looking for her dad. Like if they show that, like I think it can redeem some of those lost moments.
I can see that. Hopefully. So you picked Mario Bros.
Yeah, I think Mario's going to win. I would love Castlevania too, though. It did so dope.
Yeah, Castlevania would be like.
I know a lot of people hated it though.
For reasons.
A lot of racist people hate it.
For reasons or whatever. But yeah, I do think it would be between TLOU and Mario Bros. I'm leaning towards.
Do you just want to set the? I was gonna say, because I'm good to set the bet on this category alone.
Let's do it. I'm saying the ramen, right?
All right.
Loser pays for ramen, but what do we do with the pick?
As far as where we pick.
Yeah.
The winner picks a place.
Okay.
The winner picks a place.
Winner picks a place. Loser has to pay. I'm down. I'm going TLOU. You're going Mario Bros. All right. Next.
Please don't fail me, Mario. I never go with Nintendo. I never go with Nintendo.
I always do, but I gotta go with my gut, literally. Let's do. Let's talk about best indie, because we also have to talk about the so.
This is your category alone.
Well, so I haven't really. I'm not gonna say I haven't played. I definitely haven't beaten everything in this category. But there's a bunch of controversy going on with best independent game, because the understanding is that an independent game is one that's not backed by a giant publisher, right? The meaning has been getting a little gray, because there are there are big publishers who back games that would technically be an indie game, like last year's Stray won, which was, I believe, bankrolled by Sony.
bankroll. Sorry, that's a.
So like, and Stray looked gorgeous. Like Stray looked like a AAA game.
In some scenes, yes.
In some scenes, yes.
Yes.
But so I think to solve this, and I don't know how you, I guess, solve it this way, because then you can't force everybody to reveal the budget for their game. But I think there needs to be a budget threshold.
Some people are poor. Some people have more money.
Like, yeah, but because this category should be for those up and coming devs, those people. It should be for the small guy. And this year, Dave the Diver, which was developed by Mint Rocket. Mint Rocket is actually a subsidiary of a Chinese publisher, and they're like $1 billion corporation.
I should just love capitalism.
So people picked this. People literally voted for Dave the Diver just because it's pixel art. They seen it was pixel art. And it was like, okay, it's got to be a little charming indie game, and it really isn't.
That's all right.
So here we are. Not taking anything away from Dave the Diver. It is a good game.
Except the fact that you're not indie. We're taking that away.
The one indie. Most important part.
You're not.
It's very important to the crux of this. But
reminds me of a certain group of people would be like, I started with nothing. I worked my way up, except I had a $20,000 loan from my father to start my business.
So we got Dave the Diver, Cocoon, which is by Geometric Interactive. They're a new team headed by one of. Have you heard of the indie games Limbo and Inside?
I've heard of Limbo.
Okay,
and I've heard of Inside too. I didn't play either one.
So they're both made by those. They're both made by like the same team. I forgot that team's name, but one of the lead guys of that team left and created this new people at Geometric Interactive, and they made this game Cocoon. But again, Cocoon is published by Annapurna, which they're pretty big. And granted, they normally are known for backing these indie games, but they're pretty big. So it's super sketchy. Anyway, Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge. Have you heard of Dredge?
Nah, this is all you. I'm just here as support.
Sea of Stars. You've heard of Sea of Stars.
I am here as support.
And Viewfinder.
Support.
Well, you got to pick one, Mr. Ramen.
Supporting. I am support.
You got to pick one.
I'm going to just go with Cocoon, because the guy who did Inside and Limbo, those were pretty acclaimed, and PlayStation loves to promote those games.
This is true.
But when you was naming them, I was like, this is curious. Now I know he left that studio, he went to a different one, so this doesn't necessarily apply. But I was like, but after a certain amount of games, like, are you still indie? And at some point,
and that's another.
It's like, did you reach a certain level of success now? So it's like, even if you are still small, it's like, but you got like 3 critically acclaimed games. Like,
that's another really good point. Like, it's so, we want to put a definition on it, but like, can you really define this? I really think
it might need to have multiple categories.
So it does. So it does.
Okay.
So now there's an indie game, and there is best debut indie game. But there's some controversy with that.
No, I think that you need to put, why is there controversy in best
because
debut? Is it new? Is it new?
So the definition is supposed to be like, it's this team's first game.
Okay.
But say, again, like with Cocoon, like technically it's a new team, but there are a lot of seasoned people.
But you were seasoned, right? Okay.
So
damn.
Yeah. So it's just tricky. It's tricky as hell.
See, this is why I didn't want y'all at my damn Game Awards. This is why I didn't want you at my E3s, my PlayStation events, because y'all just bring so much damn mess. Damn indies.
But anyway, you went with Cocoon. I do think that's a good game. I'm going to go with Sea of Stars because I love it. I haven't spent too much time on it. I spent 2 hours, but it's basically this team's love letter to Chrono Trigger. This team, basically wanted to make a Chrono Trigger. They don't have the IP. They was like, all right, well, we're going to try our hardest to make a Chrono Trigger game without getting sued. And that's what Sea of Stars basically is. And I think from what I've played, they
Just
nailed
made it. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can unlock anybody memories in chat. Do you remember Star Tropics? I want Star Tropics to come back. Give me my kid with the yo-yo fighting aliens. Give me that. You remember that?
I don't.
You know, this was a regular Nintendo game. This was super dope.
Oh, was it like
Star Tropics?
Dude had like a grass skirt? Am I talking about the same thing? No, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about Adventure Island.
All right. He just was a grass skirt. I was like,
he's like a Hawaiian dude.
Then, I was like, all right, okay, all right.
Best debut independent game. Again, it is defined as for the best debut game created by a new independent studio.
So Cocoon. I'm not even looking at categories. I just like so Cocoon.
Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder.
I'm gonna go with Pizza Tower just because I would like some food right now.
And the funny part is that you may have guessed the winner because that's what I'm going with too.
Okay.
Pizza Tower.
Is it because you're fat on the inside?
I'm a little bit on the outside too. But Pizza Tower, if you don't remember, like earlier on in the earlier iteration of our power rankings, Pizza Tower was the lone indie game on our list. And, eventually got pushed off because this year has just been insane. Mm-hmm. But Pizza Tower is that good that I was holding it up in that kind of regard with the top 10 best games of the year. It's really good. So Pizza Tower, if I had to describe it best, it is part Wario Land, part Sonic the Hedgehog, with art inspired by the cartoon Home Movies. Do you remember the Adult Swim cartoon Home Movies? No.
What? But right now I was trying to picture Wario Land and Sonic. One, that was a sin. I thought it was always a sin to combine.
So like Wario Land, I say Wario Land because it kind of has the combat of that. You have to like punch and kick things, and it's a side scrolling platforming game. But it has the locomotion and the speed of Sonic. And it feels so good. And it feels, I know you hear the locomotion of Sonic, you're like, oh, shit, I'm going to be running off of cliffs. That doesn't happen here. If the controls are super tight, you always feel like you're in control of the dude.
So not Sonic.
Wow.
You got to find a different game.
And the game is like legit funny. It's like parts of this game where like I'm legit like I will laugh out loud. Like I'm not talking about just like snort a little bit out your nose like.
Okay.
Like when something's funny and you want to acknowledge it's funny, but it's not that funny enough.
Any game that made me laugh out loud. The last game that made me laugh out loud was like a Jack and Dexter game.
Ooh, that's a good pick. Jack and Dexter's are funny.
Did Hollow Life make you laugh out loud? I didn't play through the whole game, but I've seen moments where it was like, I feel like they could get one.
Yeah, I'd give it that. I feel like I laughed recently at a game. I don't remember. Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. Anything that team.
Well, Psychonauts is good. That's a good. Yeah. If you want to have a visceral reaction to a game, it's not crying for sure.
But yeah, Pizza Tower, I think is the runaway to win it, unless Cocoon doesn't win like the other independent category and they're like, all right, we need to give those people something. That would be my only guess as to why anything else would win it. But I think Pizza Tower, especially if this was like 100% fan voted, it's going to Pizza Tower.
Okay.
So
I'll look into it. I'll see.
Please do. You can play it. It's right now. It's only on Steam.
Is there any ramen spots with pizza now? With some pizza?
Pizza flavored ramen.
No. Pizza on the side. I don't know what you're talking about.
Both Pizza Tower. There's really no point in me writing that one down, but I think I should just for record. All right. What else do we have to cover? Let's go with best ongoing game. So we did two categories that were my preference, right? So I think we should go back to giving you the advantage with best ongoing game. And I say that because 2 of these nominees are your jam.
This is unfair. It's like, it's unfair.
Final
But
Fantasy.
I already know what I'm going for.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say.
Oh, I know what I'm going for. I know.
Final Fantasy 14, Genshin Impact, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know why Cyberpunk is
The
here.
shade of Cyberpunk being
It's ongoing in a different sense.
shade. That is shade.
It's ongoing in the sense that the devs are ongoing. They will never stop.
It's shade. That's absolutely shade. Oh my god.
That game will never be.
I would bet to win that.
I would feel that would be so. Is the joke worth like shunning the people who actually deserve the category to win? I think the joke is worth
a
it.
bunch of these games. I mean, I guess it's not fair because it's literally the ongoing category. I'm like,
Yeah.
but no, what I'm voting. So everyone knows my top 2 is Final Fantasy 14 and Genshin.
Mhm.
That. What I will say is almost every time I'm going to vote for Genshin because if Genshin wins, then I get rewards in my.
I think it's
Xbox
unfair
as
that
do
they
all the
bribe
other
you.
players. But in addition to that, what I do have to say is there's 2 things that I think are standing out right now. Is Final Fantasy 14 is kind of in a dry spell at the moment. So the next expansion isn't until next summer.
Mhm.
And so this expansion, the game itself was amazing, right? The expansion, but the aftercare of the expansion, it's kind of been some hit and miss things or whatever else. And that's kind of the same spell with 14. I think you'll find people are super, super happy and excited to play it around the launch of the expansion. And then as the expansion continues on, people kind of like, divest. And it's just the nature of that particular MMO because its update schedules are very I don't know how to put it. They're scheduled evenly, right? Everyone knows what to expect with Final Fantasy 14. It's like when it's going to be good, when it's going to be a dry month, kind of thing. With Genshin, though, it is a 6-week schedule thing. But what I have to point out, I actually hit up Champ. Was it last week or the week before?
I think it was.
The game literally made me cry, yo. Like I was not ready. Like it. So its latest expansion, we are in the 4th, I believe the 4th territory now. So the way the game works is that every summer you're typically introduced into a new region that focuses on the element in that element's archon or god. And we're in the Hydro place now. And I'm not going to spoil any story for you, but there's a Hydro archon there. And when you first meet her, she's a brat. And then you find out the backstory of it. And I am a sucker anytime a story does it well, you got to do it well, introduces a particular trope around identity. I'm not going to mention what part because I'd be spoiling it, but a particular trope around identity. And they did it so well in this. And mind you, I played on that screen back there, but the thing that's so amazing about Genshin is you can play it on your phone. Like the things that you're able to do, you play it on your phone. And the world is gorgeous and things like that. I think they really, really deserve something for what they did recently with that story. And the new characters that have been coming out are amazing to play with. Like the power creep we're officially in the year of power creep when it comes to the characters, but they're dope. They're really dope to play.
Yeah, I think it should. I think that there should be a point to it that not only does it have a mobile version, but it is cross-play with the mobile version, right? Like it is it's literally the same game 1-for-1 on mobile.
Except it looks so much better on these things, and more fish will load in things. More things load up on your console compared to your phone.
But it's still
do downscale it. But yeah,
it
looks so good.
Yeah, that's a technological marvel. So
It's
hell yeah,
crazy.
Kudos to them. I think Fortnite's winning because Fortnite.
No, I mean, now I do know that Fortnite is making a comeback as of now. So they brought back the original Fortnite map, and now they got this Eminem crossover. And so like they're doing some work in order to regain people's favor and things like that. Not that it really ever lost it. It's just that I feel like Fortnite was quiet for a little bit. And now they're like, nah, like we're in production right now.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, like we kind of talked about earlier with other games. I think it was just one of those, we're so used to Fortnite being the pinnacle of that genre that it kind of like, it falls to the wayside because we're just used to it. But again, I do think this year has been the year of like this Fortnite resurgence with the OG map coming back, with all these kind of high-profile skin collabs with Invincible, with Eminem, even though I don't know, Eminem 2023 is like a huge collab or whatever.
I told people that skin is not Eminem, that is Stan. That is Stan.
It was like, okay, Eminem
does not look like Slim Shady.
Eminem from 2002. You do not look
It's
like that.
Stan. It is Stan. Like I said. But no. I've never played, well, I can't say that. I have played Fortnite. I don't know what other people be doing in Fortnite. Like, I see people playing Fortnite, and it's not the game mode that I played. Yeah. Like, I played the Battle Royale. And people be doing raids and, like, going, like, shopping and shit out. Like, what? How am I doing it?
Well, there's a whole...
like, it's a whole metaverse.
Basically, though, there's a creative suite now. So you can really... And it's pretty in-depth. It's actually... way more in depth than you would think it would be. So you can really go in there and create any kind of sub game you want. So that's why you've been like seeing all these like real crazy role playing and stuff like that in Fortnite universe. So yeah, that as well. I wasn't even going to bring that up, but I think that's another reason. And also the community supports that thing like crazy. Not to say that.
I mean, I'm still, this was years ago, but they had a whole Ariana Grande concert inside the game. Yeah. Literally a concert inside. And I think things like that are amazing. Like, I want to see that. I know it comes with some boundaries. There's definitely got to be some boundaries and things. But I think things like that really elevate gaming to a whole new level and tell you, like, what it could be. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with Fortnite. Nobody's picking Cyberpunk. And Apex, I really think
still hilarious.
I really think
people are tired of Apex right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
In my opinion,
I think they just needed they needed 5 nominees, so they added Apex.
And people are ready for Titanfall. People are seriously ready, and like the teases are still happening. The game is still being updated. Titanfall 2, I'm talking about, is still being updated, and like they'll do things like they'll put a new game mode in, and it'll be like, oh, but now everyone has access to this skill, and guess what? It has 3 charges, and it's like people are like, what does this mean? Like, you never had 3 charges on the skill before. Like, why are you doing this kind of thing? People are looking for any excuse for Titanfall 3 right now.
Best fighting game. Let's talk about that.
Or in the other, we know 2. What are the others right now?
So the 2 that we both know about, Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6. We have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.
Get out of here.
I am very shocked that made the cutoff. Because it just came out like, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I don't know. It just came out. I'm very shocked it was able to be nominated. But Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and God of Rock. So I've heard of Pocket Bravery. I've never played it personally. I've heard of God of Rock, and I've actually seen people play that one. So God of Rock is a fighting game.
Gotta look at those.
But it's a part fighting game, part rhythm game.
You mentioned this.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. I was trying to see, like, I bet you that some of the people like Carl, like Kino, and Darth to see if they thought it would be any real support for it in regards to getting some like fighting game tournaments in it, and they were like, no.
So these games just look cute. Like, I'm looking at Pocket Bravery right now. It just looks like it's cute. Yeah, kind of thing. When people want to fight games, they want to fight, yo. They want to.
Well, I mean, so Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Let's talk about that. Even though neither of us are going to vote for it, right? But this one, I do commend these guys at Fair Play Labs.
They did due diligence to make it an actual game compared to
that first one was so
not even call it part 1, alpha. We're gonna call that. They released the alpha.
It really was like a public beta, and they took everybody's complaints.
Like I said, like
I'm like, all right,
call it a beta.
For real this time, you have to pay $60 again. But for real this time, this is the game you want to get. And they pretty much, for what I've heard,
$60 again.
Like that's
I'm so glad I didn't pay for that first one.
But this one, from what I know, it's 10 times better. There's a legit campaign now with a story, with an end game boss. The controls are tighter. There are like way more characters in this one now out the gate. They're not DLC. They're all launched with a lot of these characters. So I heard it was really good. Unfortunately, it's not going to touch Mortal Kombat 1 or Street Fighter 6.
It's not.
Do we really need to go in depth? I don't think so. I think if you're watching this,
no, we've talked about you know what game Clique is, and if you don't know what the fighting game category is, this ain't for you. Now, what is interesting though is who takes it out of these two. These are two phenomenal games, and phenoms of themselves. To be clear,
we talked about.
I think my personal opinion is that the better overall game is Street Fighter, but I think Mortal Kombat is going to win. But I think Street Fighter is definitely the better overall game, as far as like what it did to offer to its players, like the systems that it, invented on, and, the different things, the different parts from the casual side all the way up to the competitive side. They really cared about what different kinds of players are into, and they did that thing. And MK1, it's just a bigger franchise. So I think it's going to win. But it's also a really good game. And I think the one thing that I'm not even going to get into like the pricing things as far as microtransactions, because they're doing some things to rectify that. But one thing that I think is concerning is there's one other thing that they don't have right now, but the fact that they didn't launch and it still doesn't have it right now, crossplay. Oh, there's two things. They didn't launch with crossplay, and then the second is there is not a
private matches
Wi-Fi lock for network play.
I didn't know about that.
Like when you're playing like your ranked games, like you can't choose like I want to play with players of a certain Wi-Fi strength and higher yet. Those two things, to be clear, are coming, but I just think it's weird to in this day and age. I don't feel like there's an excuse to launch games without those features right now. Like for a really competitive game, cut it out. Like
I also think that last time I checked, unless they updated this recently, I don't think you can do like private matches or private lobbies.
I don't know about that part. I can't say. You can in Street Fighter.
Right. Exactly.
That's why I said like there's Street Fighter launched as a complete package. And that's why I think it deserves to win. But yeah.
So this one is one of the few categories where it's kind of hard to call, because like we said, 10% of the vote comes from fans and player vote, and 90% is from the press, the media, the board advisories and stuff like that. And the fighting game genre is one of the kind of like lesser known genres, even in like the hardcore gamer kind of sphere.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like you are right in the sense that MK1 is going to win because it's the more popular game. But I do think that it's so well known that Street Fighter 6 is so well loved. And I think that's a safe bet to be like, there is no way that you're watching the Game Awards and you don't understand that Street Fighter 6 has way more love than MK1 in the FGC, speaking solely about that fighting game community.
Yeah. And I want there to be at some point, and I know this is me living in fantasy land, and things need to be done in order for it to happen, but I want there to be more of a marriage between the FGC and the overall esports gaming scene just in general. And I mean, the truth of the matter is Street Fighter is just that damn game. It's that game. And I think what I think the voice of FGC players needs to be the voice when it comes to fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did the work in putting in all of the, the promotions, the lobbying. When game developers did not support continuing their games, FGC put that work in. And I feel like FGC should be the authority on what is the fighting game.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you want your game to be at the Evos, at the combo breakers, you should definitely be listening to that community. And I think Capcom did with SF6. And that's why that is my pick. That ramen going to be good.
Listen, I said we based on one category, damn it. I'm hoping Street Fighter wins, though. I really am. But
I do too. I wouldn't be mad at either, for real.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game. I think this is an interesting one. I don't even remember the nominees.
I don't know, but it's only one game for me, bruh.
What is that?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I am ready.
That is here.
To conquer Sephiroth once again.
That is it. So, full transparency, I still have to beat Remake.
How far are you into it? Did you not enjoy it?
No, I did enjoy it. I think what happened to me was it came out, and then I think my attention got taken away by other releases, and I just never got back to it.
Right, that game.
I need that.
Especially if you play
the
original.
It is.
It is amazing.
Yeah,
it's an amazing game. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to it. I got it. It's downloaded.
And you got the DLC to play as well now?
I got integrated.
DLC?
So, yep, I'm going to run through all that. What is the date for Rebirth? March?
I think it's March 2020.
That's enough time for me. I think I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop everything and just start playing that. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
You can play it on holiday break, bro. Shouldn't take you that long.
Oh, yeah. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, Tekken 8.
Damn, I forgot Tekken 8. Isn't that January?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 2024 is starting off. It's a heavy year.
Yeah,
because it's Tekken 8, there's Final Fantasy 7. Hades 2 is also a really big one. I didn't play Hades 1, but those games mentioned. Then there's Final Fantasy 14's expansion coming later on in that year. Like, it is a big year. I think we're finally past like the COVID troubles and quarantine now. Because a lot of the games that came out the last 2 years were games that were hindered in development. Now we're in game territory where it's just like no breaks, no barriers happen unless funding Activision. But so we're in a different territory now. Like the games, like they get ready to hit, and that's not even mentioning all the games that's getting ready to be announced.
Yeah,
December 7th.
Yeah, this is just the stuff that we know about, and then I mean even like. Man, even though I don't know what game on here I would take off for it, but I'm shocked Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake is not here.
I'm not shocked.
Really?
I'm not shocked.
You don't think so?
Yeah. So, I mean, because it's made by Konami, and there was not too long ago, there was like a leak of like some of the gameplay or something like that, and it looked a little Konami-ish. So it looked a little like that. So
yeah,
I'm not shocked.
And also Hideo Kojima is on this board, so I'd imagine I don't know, he didn't strike me as like the petty dude that would be like, don't put this on here. But I would imagine he didn't help it either.
Would imagine. But yeah.
So out of those 5, your vote is for FF7 Rebirth?
Yeah, I think that's the game. I think Hades is second place though.
Hades is a big boy too. Tekken 8's a big one.
Shit, I keep forgetting Tekken. Like it's great. God. And I just want to shout out one of the things they're doing in Tekken. I know I mentioned it before, but I gotta keep putting this out there because I think this is mind-blowingly good. If you lose a match, they save a version of like the last 15 seconds of the match that you can go back and replay to to see if there was a way for you to avoid that loss. Like that is so big.
Yeah.
Like there's big brain shit right there, and I love it.
Can't wait to get my ass beat twice by the same person.
But at least the second time it's not, they don't know that they beat you twice. It's in the comfort of your own
I'm sure hardcore
self-esteem.
I'm sure hardcore FGC people are gonna really appreciate that.
It's dope. I mean, I think things like that, and the fact that in Street Fighter 6, you can have like your own map that you're playing on, and then somebody else can be playing on a different map. And it's still, things like that are the technological marvels that we love in our fighting games.
And also, I do want to shout out like Star Wars Outlaws. I know some people seen that.
I don't know anything about this game. What is this game?
It's Ubisoft's first Star Wars game. I know you already like Ick, but hold on. This one, it's supposed to be like a fully narrative Star Wars game with a new, wholly new protagonist. And it gives me big Uncharted vibes. In the sense of like how the story is told, how the action plays out, and the gameplay.
Star Wars what?
Star Wars Outlaws.
You said Ubisoft, and I was just...
I get it. I totally get it. But they showed it off at their Ubisoft Play. I forgot what their little presser conference is called that they do in the summer. And the gameplay looked really good. I'm super excited.
I'll tell you what. If you know anything, we talked about it, 3 episodes ago, 2 or 3 episodes ago, scammers. We just wait till the game comes out. Just wait till the game comes out.
I'm not going to pick it.
Just don't pre-order anything from Ubisoft. It is not the company to pre-order. They do not deserve that level of trust.
It's Star Wars.
They are untrustworthy.
It's Star Wars. And Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the next game in the Yakuza series. It looks really good. I liked the first Like a Dragon.
I've never played any of the Yakuza games, so I'm just like afraid to play any one of them because I'm like, yo, it's so many, and I'm like,
so I don't want to tell you to like, I don't want to say you don't have to go back and play Yakuza 1 through 7. But Yakuza 8 Like a Dragon they created a new protagonist. So it's almost kind of like a reboot, even though there is some carryover. So
it's probably like somebody's son or nephew or something, probably.
Sort of, yeah. But it is a fresh starting point. But the thing is like a Yakuza 8 Like a Dragon is a turn-based game, whereas the other Yakuza games are kind of like open-world brawlers.
Turn-based?
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG.
Okay. I mean, that's different for the Yakuza.
I like it, though. It was really good. That was my entry point into the Yakuza
I thought people love Yakuza games because of the beat 'em up role. Like, so this is interesting.
So I'm not sure why they went this way. I think one of the lead directors are big fans of Dragon Quest. And he
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice for RPG.
Yeah, and he just
Wow.
Interesting.
I think Dragon Quest is fine, but to call it like your favorite or like your inspiration, that's wild. That's wild activity for me.
Anyway, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
There's better options. There's just
it comes out January, I think. So that is another game I am looking forward to. But I think I agree with you. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth runs away with this by a country mile.
I've been like, so they show like the first 10 minutes or 30 minutes. I can't remember the game right now. First 10 minutes of the game, and then they showed a separate section of 20 minutes of gameplay. I didn't even watch all of it because I don't want to be spoiled for Final Fantasy VII. Even though I'm normally okay with spoilers, I don't want any of that going for this game. But it is so gorgeous looking, and like even like just the gameplay updates that they did just makes things seem so much more seamless. I'm just ready to cry, yo. I'm ready to see the tragedy that happens to these characters because it is coming, and I'm so ready. I'm ready to be traumatized.
All right. Best performance. Let's talk about that one because
yes,
there's some black people.
Big ups. big ups.
All right, so we got Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16. He played the main protagonist, right?
Not a here. Yeah, because he wasn't the best voice actor in the game to me. The best voice actor is the guy, I forget his name at this point, but the guy who plays Sid, who was actually the voice actor of Lorath in Diablo 4. Like, he was the best voice actor in 16. So, get out of here.
Damn. Cameron,
I know a lot. I know a lot of people voted for him because he was "quote unquote" hot, but he's white, so there's nothing there for me. But yeah.
Cameron Monaghan, he was the lead character in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. He's also from the show Shameless, and he plays the Joker in Gotham.
The pseudo Joker Gotham.
Pseudo Joker, yeah. Idris Elba from Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty.
Yes.
Melanie LeBird played Saga from Alan Wake 2. Neil Newbon, who voiced, I always forget his name. But he plays the
because his performance was forgettable.
No.
Oh, right, no. The vampire in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, talk about this.
Yeah, and I always forget his name when it's time to talk about it. But yeah, he plays.
I watched some clips. He seemed convincing. Very good. Some of the
There's no bad pick is in regards to like performances in Baldur's Gate 3, but I do think he had the best one in that game.
Okay.
And Yuri Lowenthal, who plays Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2.
Get out of here.
Damn.
He's good. I gotta be clear. He is good. I want to be very, very clear. I'm playing through the game. I think he's great. I really do think he's great. But because Miles isn't in the category with him, I'm like, get out of here. Like, if he was in a category with him, I'd be like, yeah, cool.
I think
the voice actor behind Miles, rather.
Picking a representative out of Spider-Man 2 is tough because there are a lot of really good performances in it.
Even Black Cat did well. Like, I did her missions now, and I'm like, God damn, yo, like, you a side character, chill out.
A lot of really good joints. Like, 5 minutes of the game, and I'm like, damn, I need to know more. Like, who is she beating in Paris? What is happening?
The one thing I know we're not even talking about this right now. That was last episode. But the one thing I'm mad about, why they didn't give me that portal power, yo? I thought I was gonna have that portal power.
Oh, did you beat it? Did you beat it?
Beat the game?
Yes.
No. I'm taking my time. I got so much stuff to do, bro.
We'll talk about that when you get there.
Okay. All right.
So, how many of these games did you actually play? You played Final Fantasy 16. That's it?
Spider-Man, I played.
Well, yes, Spider-Man, obviously. No Jedi.
And he's the same voice actor from part 1 as well.
Correct.
So I'm familiar with what he's able to deliver. Yeah, so I think that's all I played.
Cameron,
I mean, but I'm voting for everybody black. You know this. But what I will say, and I'm fair with it too. Like, I want Idris to win or whatever. Just because like his voice gives me the shakes. But anyway, because he's only in an expansion, technically, I don't think he has enough material to compete with like any of the other people who did a full length game, right? So I want to be fair in that category. So in that case, I gotta go for, is it Yuri?
Melanie LeBird.
Melanie LeBird is Saga in Alan Wake 2. I have no idea what she did, but she won. I am terrible. Like, don't give me the vote. I will be looking like, is they black? Yeah. I know all kinfolk ain't. I know all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. I know that, but bare minimum. Bare minimum. I'll be looking like, can you?
So, with your logic with Idris Elba, I do agree for a different reason. Not just because he's only in the expansion, but I don't think the character that he plays allows him to have the range that a lot of these other nominees had. Like, clearly we know Idris Elba. We've seen his body of work. We know he can act. But I don't think
I think he's doing better now, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he always played, like, the same character before. But he's really expanding how he navigates. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think his role in Cyberpunk 2077 is really going to knock anybody's socks off. If I had to pick two, I would put it between Melanie LeBurr from Alan Wake 2. She plays Saga, one of the two playable characters in that game, and she was phenomenal. I didn't even know that she's actually British. She has a British accent.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and it doesn't come across in the game at all.
So I'm guessing is the second. Oh wait, because you play Baldur's Gate, so you may be voting for that guy. I'll be voting for Peter Parker.
Yeah, it's Neil Newman from Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that dude
is your second pick. Okay,
so good. It's hard for me to pick between the two. Because honestly, like, again, like, I'm not picking with my heart. I'm picking with my ramen. I'm trying to pick with my ramen. So I want Melanie LeBurr to win for obvious reasons. But if I had to try to pick who I think the board's going to pick, who I think the panel's going to pick, I think they're going to lean with Neil Newman.
Yeah, that's who they're going to pick.
Yeah,
because it's the board. The board is definitely going to pick that person.
But it was up to me.
There hasn't been enough outcry about Black representation in games for them to be like.
But I don't know. Like, even outside the Black representation thing, Alan Wake 2 is a work of art, and that is like I didn't emphasize that enough when I talked about it last episode.
Why didn't the actor behind Alan get nominated?
Honestly, it could have been. I don't want to say it could have been everybody, because like it's not all like A1 acting in there, but he did really good too. Sam Lake, who is also the game's director, he put himself in the game. He does really good in there too. There are a lot of good performances in there, and I don't want to give it away, but I guess if you played Alan,
I'm just curious because I noticed this year they didn't do multiple people from the same game. Like last year, or was it the year before? Like God of War had like 2 or 3 nominees.
Yes,
and so it seems like I don't know, maybe a conscious decision to be like only one person per game.
I think it was a conscious decision because, to be quite frank, Cameron Monaghan, get the fuck out of here. Like, that Star Wars Jedi, he's not that good. That character is not that great. No offense to him, but no.
You know, but shout out to him. He's representing the redheads. You know.
But yeah, if it was up to me, he could go, and you could definitely bring the actor.
Yeah, I just haven't heard. The thing that I find hilarious is that for me, I remember everyone talking in anticipation for that game, but then when the game launched, it was like silence. Like no one talked about.
Well, those games, the Jedi games, always launch a buggy mess. Like they barely run.
I didn't know anything about this. I didn't even hear complaints. Like it was just dead. Like
and I do love those games, but it was just like it launched a buggy mess, and then it just felt like it was one of those sequels that really just felt like more of the same in a not impressive way. Like Spider-Man 2 is more Spider-Man, but it's great. Jedi Survivors is more Jedi Fallen Order, but it's just like,
but it's good.
Yeah. It was like Fallen Order scratched the itch. I didn't need any more Fallen Order.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
what about my girl? Was she, I forget her name. She's a really, really great voice actress too. And she was in part 1. She's the only black woman in there, I think. She was the mentor figure.
Deborah Wilson.
Yes. Is she in part 2?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Deborah Wilson is in part 2.
What is curious, I don't know when The Witch Queen came out, but she voice acted, I didn't know this, but she voice acted the Witch Queen in Destiny 2.
She does.
And I love this voice actress. Like her, like I had no idea who was performing. I was just like, yo, this person's really fucking good. Like who they talk. And when I found out it was her, I was like, bruh, fam. Like
she does so much, even when they don't base the model off of her. Like she does a lot of voice work. She's in the upcoming Suicide Squad, she plays Amanda Waller.
The movie, right?
No, the game.
There's a movie. Oh, I don't know.
The game that's coming up.
Suicide Squad.
Rocksteady. Rocksteady.
No. Let it
We don't know it's going to be bad yet. We have no proof.
No.
We're just going to ignore it like Arkham Origins. It's just going to be like, Rocksteady made 3 games. That's it.
They didn't make Arkham Origins.
Oh, shit, you're right.
They didn't make it. Yeah.
We literally can ignore it. But yeah, my vote is Neil Newbin because I want Robin. But if Robin wasn't on the line, I would say Melanie LeBird. Now, watch the show actually comes on and I eat crow because she actually does win. But where were you going with?
Peter. I don't think he wins though. But I mean, I would say, yeah.
I
want to be clear. That's my second choice because I was dead serious that my first choice is Melody. So I vote for everybody.
I don't think
dead serious.
I don't think she's as much of a dark horse as we are making her out to be. I do think that game is recognized as like a really good game, and one of the things that it nails is the performances and the cutscenes and the
yeah, but like that doesn't matter. I mean, Beyonce didn't win Album of the Year. And that is insane. Like, you know how this shit go. This is why we have to have the BET Awards and the Black VGAs. This is why we have to do these things. Because shit don't be making sense over there.
One day we'll have a Black Game Awards when there's enough black things in the game industry to warrant it. All right, we're running short of time. So maybe we should like power through some of these. Game of the Year. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom. It's stacked.
It is a stacked Game of the Year. Yes. It is unfair. Like, I know it's supposed to be stacked because it's Game of the Year, but this is crazy.
Stacked.
Like, every year, there's normally like one game where it's just like, kind of throw that out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is this year.
Yeah. It's always one game. It was like, okay, y'all needed 6 people. Like Stray was nominated last year. And we're like, come on, y'all. It was all right.
You were pissed.
I was irate. I was like, that game is not.
You were pissed. Y'all, like I said, I'm watching House of Usher right now. There's an episode about a cat, and I swear to God, Champ is the one who was hunting the cat. Like that, because he hated it.
It's not even the fact that I hate cats. I just thought that game, that game rode on the fact that people love cats. I really think that was what cat are
great animals. I love them. I'm a cat person. I'm not a dog person. I'm a cat person.
Everybody was just like, "Ooh, accurately portrayed cat in the game. This game is great." I was like, "Yeah, that's it."
You could be out. You could be out. And like, yeah. They even had a counter for how many people mailed in their game. It's crazy.
I never want to mention that game again. Get it.
You mentioned it like 2 times on this shit. I didn't provoke it.
Let's get it out of our system. So
your trauma.
So yeah, like I said, pretty stacked. If I had to say it was one game that doesn't have a chance in hell, it's probably Mario Wonder. Not because it's a bad game, but because
it's just not the game of the year.
It's just not the game of the year. Sorry,
right.
Mario. It's great though. I don't think
so. I guess that proves my point wrong. Like I said, normally but yeah, that is a game that you just put out.
Yeah,
real quick.
But I mean, right. I do think it deserves the nod.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just compared to these bad boys.
There's some phenoms. There's some phenoms this year. Some heavy hitters.
I don't think Resident Evil 4 is going to get it, even though really great game, remake of arguably the greatest game of all time. Some people would say. I think.
Yeah, I got a problem with that terminology. Some people, but yeah,
some people.
I don't know. This is weird. I think it deserves so many accolades, but not greatest game of all time. I'm talking about the original Resident Evil. I don't think that. I think it gets like best redirection or best pivot or something, but like not greatest game. That's wild behavior.
I understand the argument. Like moment to moment in Resident Evil 4, it's almost like I think it's perfectly paced. which is
No, it's not.
what could be cut out of Resident Evil?
The island. Everyone critiques the island.
With the fish?
When it just becomes Call of Duty. No, not the fish.
Oh,
When you're in the second half of the game, when it just becomes Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's great.
A lot of people critique that quite a lot. Before it like tries to narrow its focus. Like there's a long gap of like just guns ablazing, artillery everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like narrows it back down a little bit into like the hard things by the time you get to Krauser to the end of the game. But it's like there's a huge gap, like right after that boss fight in the castle, which was dope.
Yeah.
And just that a lot of people be like, this feels uneven.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
If you critique it.
We're both saying the same thing.
It definitely is my least favorite part.
We're both saying the same thing. We don't think RE4 is going to get it. Get it out of here. So Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom. Who you got?
Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom. Was Alan Wake in there?
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2. God damn it. I think the top two choices, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
are Baldur's Gate and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
However, maybe not Spider-Man, because I'm starting to realize that I'm trying to think about what other people have been commentating on, and I'm not hearing Spider-Man be talked about a lot, which is part of the reason why I said it wasn't going to win in the Game of the Year. It's just that it doesn't innovate enough. In the sense that, not that I think that it even could, to be fair, to be real clear, I don't think it could innovate. It's a sequel and it's doing great. It's from a great, original game, blah, blah, blah. So I think maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Baldur's Gate is still in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this leaves room for Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tears is one of those games that has a disadvantage because of how early in the year it came out.
How early it released, yeah.
If it came out more recent, I think a lot of people remember. And I also think it's getting discredited because, again, Breath of the Wild, so great, lauded, publicly praised, one of the greatest games ever made, along with Resident Evil 4. And this direct sequel, a lot of people think that it's just more of the same, even though there is still some innovative stuff in here with the Ultra Hand and the crafting and the other stuff they added to this game, making the map 3 times the size. I do think this is Baldur's Gate 3. It's their game to lose.
I think that I think Baldur's Gate has to win. Not just like I say, I think this year is also political. Mm-hmm. To be very clear, I really do think there's a political side of things that's happening where not just consumers are being vocal, but also press. Like people want more from their games now. Like we're in a season of like consistently paying $70 for broken messes,
mm-hmm.
and people are like, we know there's a better future. like we know there's a different way you can do this. So it doesn't have to be this way. I think Baldur's Gate has it there. And when I think about in terms of sequels, I think Breath of the Wild does so much more as a sequel than Spider-Man 2 does as a sequel.
Yeah.
It feels like in Breath of the Wild, like they introduced a whole new damn engine,
mm-hmm.
essentially. With Spider-Man 2, they introduced tweaks to your movement and combat. And it feels good. I want to be very clear. It feels great, but it's not a whole new thing. It's not a new way to interact with the game.
I also do want to give love to...
and the story is great.
Yeah, the story is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, in Tears of the Kingdom, that's another thing to say is like, because most of the time, like in Zelda games, the story kind of goes to the wayside, even though there is this
mm-hmm.
underlying lore that's always happening. With this one, it really feels like sometimes you're watching a movie with how well the story is portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
But I was about to say, I don't want people to overlook Alan Wake 2. Like, I really cannot stress this enough. Alan Wake 2 feels like an indie project with a AA budget. Like, the risk that it takes with its presentation and its structure and the story, it's hard to describe without spoiling it. I would love for you to play through it, and then we do another.
I'm going to. My issue is that I'm trying not to do too much because I'm getting ready to move.
Yeah,
that's my issue. And like, I want to be settled.
I wish I had got a physical copy and I could just let you hold it. But like, it's.
I don't wish that. I hate physical copies. I gotta get up from my chair. That's like you asking me to get up. What the hell is this?
Yeah,
I can't relax, damn it.
I would love for us to be shocked and see Alan Wake 2 win it. And it's not a stretch because last year everybody was shocked when freaking It Takes Two won it. So
I'm
Dark
still
Horse,
not over that.
the Dark Horse can win this.
You still didn't even beat it. We said we wouldn't play it.
That's because I got to get to if you play it with me, I'll beat it. I tried to play it with my wife. And
I think I downloaded it. Yeah, because it was free 1 month, I think, with PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I have it on
I have it.
I have it on Xbox and PlayStation. I just can't find anybody to play it with.
You know that I'm not an Xbox player, so you know that. But we played, me and Champ, I don't know, it feels like a much longer time, but we've known each other, what, 2 years now? Is it 3? I don't know.
Probably.
But it feels much longer than that. And over this course of time, we have only played one video game together. Offline. I'm sorry. So we technically played like some cahoots or some shit doing some streams. You done that. I don't count that. But we only played one game together this entire time.
That made my side hurt. I was like, we played games on stream all the time. We played Wheel of Fortune.
Get the fuck out. We did play Wheel of Fortune on stream. Yes, not a game that I would play normally. He like tortures me with like games we have to play in order to keep runtime up. He's like, yeah.
I would put that. That should have been Goaty that year it came out. But anyway, my pick is Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're settled on Baldur's Gate. Like I said, I think it's also a political decision.
So you're saying Baldur's Gate 3 too?
Yeah.
Okay. Gate 3. Sorry, we're gonna have to cut it there because we're kind of running a little long. But to go over our picks again. Player's choice, I picked Hogwarts Legacy, you picked Baldur's Gate 3. Best adaptation, I picked The Last of Us, you picked Super Mario Bros. Movie. Best indie, I picked Sea of Stars, you picked Cocoon. Best debut indie, we both said Pizza Tower, even though you've not heard of it before in your life.
I just went fool. I'm hungry. I'm about to fix some sandwiches right after this.
Best ongoing, you picked Genshin, I picked Fortnite. Best fighter, you picked Mortal Kombat 1, I picked Street Fighter 6. Most anticipated, we both agree Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Best performance, you said Neil Naban, I said Yuri Lowenthal? What? No, I got it mixed up. I said Neil
Melanie. I'm sticking with my sis. Melanie, I will wait too. I said that. I'm dead serious. I'm voting for the black person. Even if they lose.
I'm gonna feel so bad if she actually does win. I should have stuck with her.
Nah, don't come coming back to the black woman now.
I'm gonna lose because of that pick. I already see it. That's gonna be the one. And Cody, we both said Baldur's Gate 3.
Don't come crawling back to the black woman now, son.
Oh, we're gonna clip this and we're gonna revisit this when we do whatever we're gonna do with the Game Awards. We got to figure out how we're gonna incorporate all of this.
No, you Uncle Tom loving. We gotta start calling. I'm getting all the politics of Uncle Tom. It's the wrong thing. He's not the bad man.
I feel like I'm selling out my people for ramen, and I don't like it.
Not even an African.
I'm a cheap date.
We can get some fufu. Get some fufu.
But yeah, how you feeling about the picks? You feeling good? You feeling confident?
Yeah, I feel like this is what it is.
Either way, we both get ramen.
We do both get ramen, but my spot was going to be better. So I'm hoping, because I got the better pick. You
don't even know that yet. Well, I don't even know that yet. I've not even eaten at this place, but
I got the better pick. I got the better pick. Because it's not the spot that we went to before, even though that was really great.
That was really good. That was really good ramen. But hey, y'all, so we're about to sign off. We are going to be back. If you're watching this live or if you're listening to this when it dropped, we are going to come back.
We got a surprise for you
next week to do some sort of coverage on the Game Awards, because we're going to revisit this. We're going to tell y'all who the hell had to pay for ramen. December 7th, Game Awards starts at 7:30. Watch it along and find us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RealGameClick. Hit the sub button so you can get updates on who the hell won, baby.
Yes.
And find all that other good content. Make sure to, if you're watching, make sure to listen to us on your favorite podcast platform by searching Game Click on your favorite platform, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those other ones. If you're listening and not watching, you can watch full episodes on Black Power Media's YouTube channel, youtube.com/@BlackPowerMedia, period. Make sure to sub them. Do what you got.
I have nothing. I was super hungry right now. Like I said, but I really enjoyed today, and I'm getting ready to watch some more House of Usher. I started binging it last night. I'm gonna finish that up and then get prepared for Overwatch Ranked. Get ready to, we got a new season coming. And then Warframe, it's got some big announcements coming up. And so I've been preparing my characters for those big announcements. You will see those big announcements on December 7th.
Nice. And you can follow us on most social media platforms at Real Game Click, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Yes.
That's it. That's all of them.
Yep, that's it.
Whatever I didn't list, you can find at our website.
Listen, it's Real Game Click. That's who we are. You got a website, right? Yeah.
Go to the platform and type Real Game Click. We might be there. That's how we'll do it.
Also, and we do read the comments, to be clear, but if you have people that you want us to connect with, because we're starting to get quite a few of those comments lately, please set us up. Link us in the inbox, hit us on our social media or at questions@Real Game Click. We will do our due diligence and reach out to these individuals who you suggest.
Hell yeah, you can catch us here every other Friday and also watch us live, man. We're going to be here, Black Power Media's YouTube channel, with a watch party, watching our episode live, commenting along. So join us for that every other Friday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Ish.
Whenever the video finishes processing.
Just hit the bell. You'll get notified, whatever. We'll be there. Hey, man.
Peace.
Be good, stay good.